Hey guys, this is Impact Hall of Famer Gail Kim, and you are watching the Countdown City WrestleCast.
What's up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm your host, JC, and returning to the show is my beautiful wife, Tina.
Oh, me?
Yes.
Hola.
And over here we got Tommy.
Hello.
And of course, coming to us from I think it's the Four Seasons, we have Mike.
I'm Mike, and this is 2020. Not the Four Seasons Hotel, though. We've got like 6 weeks left, I think. We're in the home stretch.
Yeah.
If you can't make it, I think there's a crematorium in that direction or something. So, you had a good shot. But sometimes...
Crematorium.
I mean, it almost... honestly, that whole fiasco, it felt like it could have been booked as part of wrestling when you think about it on some level. It's like, the comedy stunt.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Definitely a Vince Russo idea.
Match.
I honestly thought that was fake.
Yeah.
I was like,
I did too. I thought I would have made that story
This
up
is not real.
I saw it.
Oh, hold on, JC. These people over here are telling me your package is ready if you need to come pick it up from this other store that's next to me. So
I told him to ship it next day. God damn it. All right. Anyway, our Twitter account, of course, is at @CCG_WrestleCast, and you can subscribe here to the Countdown City Geeks YouTube channel. Today, we are going to be recapping AEW Full Gear and then discussing this year's PWI Women's 100. Well, you're here for this mostly.
I'm kidding.
Yes. Anyway, we'll jump right into Full Gear. I know Tina didn't get to see it, but I mean, some of the results, she might be surprised to hear. You guys got to see it, I assume. So
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Let's start really what you guys liked and disliked. What stood out for you the most out of the show?
You know what I liked?
What?
And I disliked? I liked that there was a wrestling show, and I disliked that I didn't see it.
I will show it to you.
But I haven't had time. I honestly haven't had time. This is why I'm barely on. So just work.
Life of a teacher.
I don't know how Mike's doing it, but I can't.
Yeah.
I don't do work outside. No, I'm just kidding.
I have 3 preps and I'm department chair.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's taking on responsibility. That's your first mistake.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, once you said that, I was like, oh geez, I didn't know you were doing that much. God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I look like I just woke up, but I didn't.
Go ahead, Tommy. You want to go first? What you enjoyed about the show?
Fixing my hair this whole time.
Honestly, what I was going to say was I really don't think I saw anything I didn't like about the show. I mean, I don't think it was perfect, but I can't say, oh, this was bad. I just think it ran in between really great to not and pretty decent. It was like the worst of the show was decent. That was the worst they did. But even that was like I'd still watch a pay-per-view of it.
Yep.
I actually made a couple notes watching the show because I was so impressed. One thing, Don Callis. I don't care if it was for one match. I don't care if we only got him one match. Thank God we got Don Callis.
Replace JR.
Oh, see.
I mean, JR kind of laughed about that. I mean, Mike, as you had mentioned, I wonder if JR's just it's tough. It's getting old for him. But he was like, JR was like, hey, there's my one big mistake for the night. He kind of called himself out on one thing, But yeah, Don Callis, executive vice president of Impact Wrestling.
Yeah.
And commentating for Impact, showing up to do a match for AEW, which is pretty awesome. See, promotions can work together.
I was reading something Tony Khan said. He's like they had to work it out, of course. But he said I didn't mind Don coming in and doing that. He's a great guy. He mentioned it because it was for Kenny, essentially, because Kenny's and them know each other. And I didn't know they'd known each other that long, but apparently. Mm-hmm. And so he said I'm open to doing that kind of thing. When stars align, we can work it out. What I loved the whole night was references to other promotions that they made. They mentioned Okada all throughout Kenny's match with Hangman in the tag team match. If they named every single tag team and every move, which even they even said DIY, which I couldn't believe they actually said out loud. I was like, oh my God, Vince is probably having a fit right now.
They treat it like a sport, and there's other promotions out there. So, you know. Mike, what about you? What did you enjoy a lot about the show?
I mean, the Omega page to start it off was just an amazing match.
That was almost part of the top, just that. Yeah.
So I heard a comment from the Cultaholic guys when I was watching because of the finish where Page almost got out of the one-winged angel before he hit it, and they were just like, you know, they think Omega's eventually going to go on to win the title down the road. They're like, when you're ready to push Page, does he either kick out of the one-winged angel, the first person, or finally just find the way to counter it? Like, he's impressive.
He's Omega has protected his finish for so long. I feel like the only time anybody should ever kick out of that is his retirement match. Just let that run his career. It's the one move he always had. Nobody kicked out, and when he's ready to put someone over on his way out, then he have somebody kick out of his finish. That's how I feel personally.
I will respectfully disagree, and I will tell you.
You tell him, Tommy. I don't know what I'm talking about.
And here's why. And the only reason I thought of this just now is because I just watched the match that they just put on YouTube, Undertaker versus Kane, when he had to put down Kane with 3 tombstones, and even on the third one, Kane still kind of kicked out afterwards. I'm not saying that should happen like that, but I'm saying if any time where a guy kicks out, it should be someone who's like in a desperation type move. With Kane, it made sense because, you know, he's equal in power to the Undertaker. I don't know why I'm using air quotes. It's not like we don't know.
Air quotes.
Laser.
But it's like if Omega's the guy who if Hangman's the guy who either counters or kicks out of it, it should be when he wins the title.
Yeah,
because
no, definitely.
It's like he'll be the guy who can do it. And to me, it's like countering it or like reversing it won't be as big a deal as kicking out.
Right. I think I can get by with that, but I'm thinking more kicking out. No one should do that until he retires. You know,
because I think to me, my favorite selling point was with this feud with Okada was because my favorite thing about this feud with Okada was Omega never hit the damn move on Okada. Right. It's like their whole Wrestle Kingdom match. Like every time we got him up there, like you could hear a visible gasp in the Tokyo Dome, and then Okada would fight his way out of it, and then you went the whole match without. It's like they never pulled that trigger until their last match. So if anything, that's where they could do it. Maybe like I said, he didn't have to kick out of it really. But I'm interested where they see where they're going with this story. If they're going to wait till Revolution to have this match or
not. For me, man, I personally, the match of the night was Darby Allin, Cody Rhodes. I didn't see this live when it happened. Granted, yes, the tag team match was awesome. I won't go with that. But for me personally, what I was most excited about, I didn't see it live. I watched it later, but I made sure not to read any spoilers. And so I didn't know what happened in that match. And literally, like, when they were fighting, they were pushing Darby. When he got the pin off that series of roll-ups, I thought, there's no way they're going to just do this. Like, nobody ever gets the pin off of this.
I literally did the same thing.
And I got it, and I was just like, I was so happy, but I couldn't yell because the kids were asleep, and I'm in the office like, I was so excited.
I thought the match was over when Cody hit that crossroads from the top rope. I was like, okay, well, I mean, that was good game.
Yeah. Tina would probably be happy to hear that like Darby wins it, and automatically he's continuing that feud with Ricky Stark. So Ricky Stark is going to be pretty much in the TNT title picture.
Yeah.
So,
nice.
Yes, I know you
like Ricky Stark. Was there a women match?
There was 2 actually. The buy-in was Serena Deeb defending her NWA Women's Championship against Allison Kay. A lot of speculation about where was Thunder Rosa going to go. And she showed up after the match and basically set her sights on AEW, set her sights on one of the NWA title back from Serena Deeb. So Thunder Rosa did show up in AEW. And then, of course, Hikaru Shida defending against Nyla Rose. I feel like Shida she had it easier this time with Rose. I don't know what it is. I mean, granted, it was hard hitting, but,
I think it was just a different setting. I don't know if it was easier. I just think it was you didn't feel as physical because it was more methodical in their match, I think.
I felt like it went a little too long, honestly. Like, I felt like, again, I hate to say this, but with AEW, at least in the title match like this, maybe the Hardy match just because of what it was. But again, Sheeta and Nyla, like it just, I felt like it was maybe the weakest match. Again, not a bad match, but of the entire card, it just like it felt like it dragged there toward the end, and I was like, oh, it's still going on, and I don't know. Sheeta's really good. Nyla's not bad. I don't think they always play into her monster as much as maybe you would think they should, but
that I can agree with.
Especially now with the whole Vicky Guerrero thing. Obviously, Tag Team Championship was just intense. A long match. First loss for FTR. The Young Bucks are Tag Team Champions, celebrating with Kenny Omega. Tina will be happy to hear that MJF beat Chris Jericho and is now part of the Inner Circle. Him and Wardlow. So
nice.
He's gonna be. I think he's gonna be taking over and getting Jericho kicked out.
I do too, but like his method of winning was very Eddie Guerrero-ish, and I just sat there and said, "How dare you?"
But
I went whole Harry Potter. How dare you stand where he once stood? You know, that kind of thing. So
the match that was definitely the most fun was Elite Deletion.
Yeah, it was fun. Like it was.
Where did they find Gangrel? What was he doing?
Exactly. I loved every little thing about it. Gangrel all of a sudden shows up. He's got Hurricane Helms as his what are you gonna call it? As his prisoner, and then we finally freeze him. And Hurry's like, "Why'd you leave me like that?" It's long-term storytelling.
Yeah, so that goes back to like
2 years ago.
2 years ago, they were talking. Yeah, it was like another thing that had happened. Because he even said, like, I had to come to AEW to finish it, like, just totally breaking kayfabe the entire, like, it was like a private party. Santana Ortiz match broke out in the middle of it. Yeah, Hurricane showing up and
it turned hilarious. That's what happened.
Hardy versus Sammy Guevara in Call of Duty with fireworks. Basically, they were chasing each other down with these big ass Roman candles and shooting them at each other, which was awesome. I mean. It was just fun. Hardy's cinematic matches are great on the Hardy compound, so really well done.
He really has perfected that to an art form at this point. He really has.
Yeah, he really has. And then of course the AEW World Championship I Quit match. It was
brutal.
It was brutal, but not as bad as I thought it could have been. But I think they were wanting to save some of that for Moxley versus Omega.
Well, you know what the meeting with that probably was, right? It was probably Tony Khan, the Bucks, Cody, and Kenny Omega sat down, Moxley and Kingston said, "Okay, guys, remember CZW? Do that, but not
as bloody." Yeah.
But no.
The crazy part is this was kind of sandwiched in the middle of a busy football weekend for that stadium. Florida, Georgia took place in that stadium and pretty much ended right when this pay-per-view started. They had this event, and then the next day the Jags were hosting the Texans there in that stadium. So quite a busy weekend there in Jacksonville.
How connected is that to the stadium? Is it like a part of it, or
pretty much right next door? If you remember Hardy versus Sammy Guevara last pay-per-view, they started in the stadium and fought into the theater. So it's like an amphitheater connected to the stadium. Yeah. So it's right there. Yeah. Now the fun part, our pick results here. Tommy went 6-2, Mike 7-1. Myself and Tez 8-0.
I'm sorry.
Nope. Yeah, Tommy, tell him.
Those are false results.
Those are illegal picks.
Yeah, those are illegal picks.
Only legal picks count.
I am suing you and Tez because clearly these picks are false. I'm also going to sue the state of Pennsylvania because you know why. Don't question my logic. That's why I'm doing it.
Yeah,
because forget you. That's why
we found pick fraud.
Yeah,
lots of pick fraud.
I heard that there were picks in the trash that were not counted properly.
Steady's not here, but he totally said there was pick fraud. Tez is not here, but he said some of his picks were illegal. Totally.
I don't think Tez said that. Tez is very happy to just not able to make it today.
Look, we don't need proof. Okay, we don't need actual proof.
We don't need your evidence.
Take our word for it.
Someone did that.
He's never on the show. Tez is never on this show, and he went perfect on this pick.
Yeah, Tez shows up for one show every now and then, and he goes.
He's
perfect.
Brock Lesnar. I heard.
Well, Brock Lesnar times 4, but I mean.
Yeah, I mean that's true.
Touché.
He shows up more than once.
That's true. So,
and you know what? I may have to retract my statement because unlike WWE, a black guy went over, so I have to kind of retract my statement.
Wow.
A couple other little things too, dude. John Silver, break him off from the Dark Order. That dude
he
is
doesn't
ready.
really fit, does he?
Yeah,
No, I
gotta
mean, he's
agree.
fun, but he's like ready to be their Santino or like a solid wrestler, but funny and like, he's like, yeah, like his mat, like he can actually wrestle, and he was funny, and
Yeah.
I gotta agree because that may have been his breakout match.
Yeah,
because okay, so I followed his career for a minute, and I know he can wrestle singles matches. So I was like, oh, cool, he's in. Because he usually does team with Alex Reynolds on the indie scene. He did in PWG and everything. But but now he's like really going on his own. I'm like, yeah, he may need to break away from the Dark Order and do his own thing from now.
All right. We'll see what they do with that. But I mean, yeah, he definitely showed he's a promising singles career.
Not to mention, Brody Lee hasn't done much after his the TNT title run, and then not a lot.
I'm wondering if he's like taking time off or something, or
that's possible.
AEW right now maybe doesn't have enough room with just the one show, so
yeah,
or the one main show, I guess. But
yeah, they're trying to find time for everybody else. So, now on to our WrestleCast ratings for this 0 to 5. 5 being WrestleMania 17, 0 being December to Dismember. Tez did send in his rating. 20. What? Okay.
I didn't watch it.
Okay. Tez sent in his rating of a 4.0 out of 5 for this. Pretty sure he really enjoyed it. A- minus if you gave it a grade. So, Tommy, what is your rating for this show?
I'm gonna give it a solid 4.5. Wasn't perfect, but it was really, really good. I like I said, some of my biggest complaints were just like the things that were just decent. Like it was like and I mean, even the Hikaru Shida Nyla Rose match, it could have felt a little bit long, but I think for the time they had, they did some pretty solid work in there. Even the stuff that was clearly comedy turned into a good wrestling match with Silver and Cassidy.
Yeah.
So and I'm MJF won, so I'm still mad about that. But whatever, kind of knew it was gonna happen, but still I'm still mad. But yeah, 4.5. I really have no problems with the show. Not really.
Okay, Mike, what about you?
I think I'm right there with Tommy. I'm going to go 4.5. It was solid. It was a big step up from their last pay-per-view, which I know we didn't score so highly. But again, every match was pretty solid. Like you said, like even the one, like I say, it's not the best, but it wasn't a bad match. It was just of the rest of the show, it's the one that I felt was kind of the weakest. But the Omega Page was awesome. The tag team match was awesome. Jericho and MJF was good but funny. Like they still keep that kind of comedy that they have amongst everything. And
sorry, I mean cut you off, Mike.
No, it's okay. And that's all. What?
I was just thinking of when freaking Cornette kept saying like, "Oh, they ruined his career with the whole Broadway thing," and like, no, that adds to him. He's because like Jericho's a great wrestler.
Don't listen to Cornette.
I can't help it. Sometimes
I know.
Like they always report it, but I'm just like, okay, it's one dude. Who cares?
You mentioned Jericho. Happy birthday to Chris Jericho, 50 years old.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I can't believe that. I can't believe we live in a world where Chris Jericho's 50 and still wrestling.
You feel old yet, right? So yeah. So as for me, also 4.5. I think it's the rating I've had in my mind since I saw the show. A lot of great moments, a lot of good matches. Nothing really slowed the card down. I think maybe the women's match, like you said, might have gone a little bit too long. I don't particularly know if I like Vicky being the manager of Nyla Rose because I think she takes away from Nyla being this big monster.
Well, it looked like they might have been breaking them up. And actually, I was going to ask you this because at the end of it, Vicky walked off without her. Do you think this would be one way that they might turn Nyla face because Vicky will get someone to come fight her?
It's possible.
Possibly. That's possible.
Because
you can never really see Vicky Guerrero as a face.
No, you can't.
Like the company,
She's too good as a heel. She's too good at it.
Yeah.
She's phenomenal at it.
I heard, and I don't know if this is permanent, but I heard that her daughter Shawl is getting back into wrestling. She had, trained at the PC for a while and then left to do other stuff. And I heard she was coming back to some shows. She was in a tournament, some indie tournament So I don't know if this is like a one-time thing or she's getting back into it. So that could be
Actually,
interesting down the road.
It's so funny you said that because Mission Pro just announced like not even 2 hours ago, actually just an hour ago,
Yeah, I
that
saw
she'll
that.
be at their next show. So,
But I think as the ring announcer is what it said, right? I think I saw that announcement.
I mean, it's a start, you know.
Right.
Yeah,
But still, yeah.
ring announcer, but you never know.
Yeah.
You know, with pro wrestling, you never know.
Overall rating
trained,
for
so.
overall rating for Full Gear 4.375. Really good show. Last one of the year for AEW. Of course, they did announce Revolution at February 27th will be their next pay-per-view. More than likely going to be Moxley versus Omega, with Omega winning the tournament and Moxley still being champion. Looking forward to it. And then I think that's where Moxley won the title earlier this year. So this would be a full year if he holds it. So, yeah. All right. Now, the PWI Women's 100 of 2020.
It's my turn.
This is your turn to come in. Thank you for waiting patiently.
I was gonna fall asleep. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Tired.
This it's kind of. I feel like they've changed the criteria just a little bit this year, and I kind of want to run that with you guys real quick before we talk about it. The evaluation period was October 1st, 2019 to September 30th of 2020.
Okay.
They're based on the criteria, and this is the order they put it in. So I would assume it's order of importance. I'm not sure how they factor it in, but championships won, quality of opposition, technical proficiency, win-loss record, overall activity, and momentum/promotional push. Now, they did note that there's a special consideration to momentum athletes had prior to the COVID-19 shutdown.
Yeah.
So if some athletes might appear higher than you would think, it's possibly because, well, COVID kind of shut down what they could do, whereas like travel, if they couldn't go across the country or the promotion shut down, that sort of thing.
Right.
I gotta say something about one of them, but
I'm assuming it's number 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me.
Why is she so low? No,
Yeah, well,
What?
I'm kidding.
yeah, he's joking. But I got the guys. You guys can't see it. For those of y'all watching, but the list in front of you, I have the full 100 there. If a person has a number next to them in parentheses, that's actually the number they were in the PWI 500 earlier this year. Yeah, so that's something.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring. That's kind of interesting comparing the two of that too. But that's
for sure.
You would think that then they would be higher in the women's one if they're in the men's one.
Well,
right?
I would think that too, but I think that special COVID consideration that the women got, they didn't apply that to the men's. At least there was no note of that. They kept the men's or the regular 500 the same.
Then that still doesn't make sense, but okay.
Yeah. So
that still doesn't make sense. So how did Kylie Ray have higher than Tessa then? Or technically?
I mean, Kylie Ray wrestled more than Tessa did, even after the COVID.
No. I understand that, but then also like, if they didn't take the consideration, then I don't think.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's weird.
It's like the listing is a bit inconsistent.
But the mathematics is off. That's what.
Yeah.
I can say what I was trying to say.
They should have called Scott Steiner.
And we're saying this is that, like Tessa is number 7, and I'm not arguing she's a great wrestler because she is, but as soon as this whole thing happened, she just kind of stayed in Mexico and didn't come out and
didn't really defend her
title.
The top title Impact. Yeah.
She vacated it. So it was just like, and you said it was from, what did you say? From
October to September.
And she won her title in January.
Yeah.
And probably only like defended it twice maybe or 3 times on pay-per-views.
Twice.
Yeah.
Twice, and I don't even know if it was on pay-per-view. It just might have just been on TV.
And then that was it.
Yeah.
So in my thought process, she's higher than she should be.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, honestly.
That's definitely an argument with that. Yeah, I agree with that. Let me real quickly, I'm going to run through the top 20 in reverse order.
Okay.
20, Nikki Cross.
Yay, I was happy about that.
19, Kylie Ray, recently announced her retirement with the break for social media. I really hope one day she's coming back, as we talked about when we broke the news last week, is,
my
hopefully,
daughter really
it's a
likes
mental
her.
Yeah, my daughter's like her. Hopefully it's a mental health thing that she can work out, so.
On a side note, they put these two next to each other on purpose.
Oh.
They're like, pronounce it now.
Yeah.
Kylie Ray, and then number 18, Kaylee Ray. Exactly. Yeah.
From NXT UK.
NXT UK, current NXT. I think she's the women's champion.
She's still the women's champion.
Yeah, because they hadn't had it for so long.
She's been the women's champion for a long time.
Those titles are still, but I think they are coming back. They were supposed to have.
They started doing shows recently, yeah.
But then they started doing. They had the lockdown, so I don't know.
Yeah, they. But hopefully they taped everything before the lockdown. They were planning to do a takeover this fall, but had to push it back to I think January or February. Mm-hmm. So we'll be getting hopefully one soon. I think it's going to be in Ireland as well. 17. Taya Valkyrie. Everybody watch Tina's face. Yeah, there it is. Right.
I'm surprised she's that high.
Yeah, 16 Nyla Rose. Well, I think yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, she did hold the
she
in
should've-
fact knockouts title for most
should,
of that.
She
so.
should be higher, I
Yeah.
think.
Let's
Tessa
see.
should be lower.
Nyla Rose, 15 Kimberly,
Mm.
14. Very proud of this one. Thunder Rosa.
Yeah.
She's been in the top 10, but we'll move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, should be.
13 Shayna Baszler.
This year.
Yeah, I think she definitely will be if she keeps up where she's going. 13 Shayna Baszler. Ready, Tommy? 12 Jordan Grace.
Woo woo.
Yes. Okay, got the stamp of approval. 11 Rhea Ripley.
Woo.
Yeah.
Yep.
My favorites.
All right, now here is the next three that I know Tommy is definitely going to love.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Number
I don't
10.
know one of them. So.
Okay.
Hey, I don't know only
Number
one.
10, Mayu Iwatani.
No idea who
Let's
that
go.
is.
She held the Ring of Honor women's
No
title
idea who
for-
that is.
Okay, Women of Honor. All right. Number 9, Io Shirai.
I know who that is.
Let's go.
And number 8, Riho.
I remember.
Let's
You're right.
go.
The little tiny one,
The
right?
little tiny one.
She was
First
champion,
AEW
no?
Women's
Yeah.
Champion. Yeah, and I can't help but think, man, COVID really kind of slowed her momentum down. It sucks
Yeah.
because she would be a big part of this division right now had it not been for COVID. So, yeah.
She's been working in Stardom. And you know what's funny? She's in Stardom. She's like one of the only person not in a faction in Stardom. She's like the only person there. She'll be in like six women tag matches. They'll be like, from Stars and Rio.
Hey, whatever, man.
Hey, whatever works. So,
Yeah.
hopefully when this is over, she'll be back in AEW and really pushing because I actually think her and Okada Shida would be a hell of a match, or even her with Thunder Rosa somehow.
so.
Yeah. Number 7, Tessa Blanchard.
Eh,
I mean, promising at the beginning of the year, then
Oh.
yeah, you know, we have our.
Yeah,
Well, even
I
with that, there was a
I
little
looked
controversy.
up, and she only defended the belt once, and it was
Yeah.
against Taya Valkyrie.
See,
That's
Yeah.
right. Taya won. Yeah. Okay.
that's what I'm saying. Like, and then not only that, her winning was like a huge.
It was such a big
Controversy
deal.
thing,
I mean,
too.
she beat Brian Cage to get to that point. Such a
And-
big feud with Sami Callihan. The controversy around some racist comments she made prior to that title match.
Yeah,
you
so
know.
it was just a lot,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was just a lot.
Let's round this out. Number 6, Hikaru Shida,
I know who she is.
current AEW Women's Champion.
She's actually my favorite.
Yeah.
Like
Really?
from AEW.
From
yes.
AEW? Yeah, she's amazing.
she's amazing.
And then WWE knocked out the top 5. Number 5, Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 4, Charlotte Flair.
Mm.
I
Three-
feel like Sasha should be a little higher, only because for a long time, Bailey and her were just like
Tearing it
the
up.
entertainment, man. They were the entertainment for WWE.
Now, let me round this out and we'll discuss it because I think we all have an opinion on that. Number 3, Asuka.
Yeah.
2, Becky Lynch. And number 1 is Bailey.
Woohoo!
Now-
Bailey!
Bailey, I'm very happy for.
Yes, very.
Very
Yeah.
cool to see that. She's definitely well deserved. Has been obviously the biggest women's star of this past year, of this past evaluation period.
Especially the
Yeah.
COVID period.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
The only reason I could think Sasha's not higher, and I think she should be number 2 or 3, Asuka possibly 2, is maybe because Sasha. I mean, she was off TV for a little while, possibly
Yeah.
because she was out filming Mandalorian, right?
Right.
But yeah, Charlotte. Granted, yes, you can argue the COVID thing, but she's really been out with an injury. I don't know if COVID's really slowed her down. Becky,
She left in like what?
she's left since April
April?
with a pregnancy, and I mean, I'm not.
Mind
knocking-
you, but it's still from October to April, so it's still a long period of time. That she
yeah,
was-
but then you have April to the end of September where she hasn't been there. You know.
Yeah,
So,
but it could have also been. They could have also used that COVID thing.
Yeah, but
for,
also, and think of your criteria. Like, she was still the man. She was getting pushed. She kept the title after WrestleMania, when most of us thought that she would drop it by then.
wasn't
And it was
until Money
only
in the Bank in May. Was it May when she
the next
dropped
month,
So,
right? The
mind
next
you,
month.
you said it's October to September,
it? Yeah. Okay.
so she was still in wrestling for 8 months.
Okay.
So that's 8 out of the 12 months. So
And
But
she was
maybe top 5. I don't know about number 2 though. You know?
no, she should. I understand that she should be top 5, but I don't think. I don't think she should be number 2.
Yeah. Number 2.
I think she should be. I think it should really be Bailey, Asuka, Sasha, Becky, Charlotte. I don't even know if Charlotte should be that high either. I think she should just be top 10. but I don't
actually,
know if
guys,
it's
what it should be, Bailey should still be number 1, but then Billie Kay number 2, Peyton Royce number 3. That's obvious. So.
Yeah.
Well,
Billie
they are
Kay.
iconic. So
Where was she? Billy Kay was actually 59. Peyton Royce 57.
Yeah, here's my question.
So you have Allie Kay breaking up the Iconics on the list, but
Right.
yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, so
But
What's your question,
Allie Cat,
Mike?
excuse me, sorry.
they broke them up like a month or two ago. And I think Peyton Royce got what? How did they decide Peyton's 2 ahead of Billy Kay when they were a tag team almost the entire time?
Well, sometimes when they would have matches, sometimes it was only Peyton that was wrestling. So my assumption is that, and also because there was a time period that
Racist.
that Billy wasn't there, so Peyton was only doing singles matches before they broke up. I don't know if you remember that. There was like a good 2-3 weeks that Peyton would come out and wrestle, and Billy wasn't there because she didn't go. Now I might have been a quarantine, I don't know, but I remember Billy wasn't there for a few matches that she had by herself because she had like single matches just because they had like fillers basically.
Keeping the streak alive as
Mike, you need to pay attention to these things.
They're hilarious. I do. That's all I need to know.
Just keeping the trivia question alive. The only 2 wrestlers that have appeared in every PWI women's 50 or women's 100 are still there. Lufisto at 35 and Natalia at where is she? I just saw her.
53.
53. Yeah, 53.
You know, you could have asked us again, and we would have
honestly, I think she's too high.
Really,
Natalia?
Yeah, I think Peyton and Billy should be, or at least Peyton should be higher than her.
Whoa! Here we go again.
well. See, I agree.
Sonya should be higher than her.
Well, look here's why I agree. Only because I'm very biased to who she's just above at number 54. So.
Yeah, I mean,
no idea who that is.
What can you tell us about it? I don't know if a lot of people know who that is. So
Julia is right now I've been calling her.
Gilia?
Anyway, Julia, you jackass. Anyways.
Weird to say this because I never would say I would actually look for her on here, but Mandy Rose is not on here.
Mandy Rose fell out of it. She was on the 100 last year, and she was not on it, but Sonya Deville was.
But Sonya Deville is.
Yes.
So
very surprising to me.
I honestly feel like Mandy should be on here, and Natalia shouldn't. Then.
Ooh.
Okay.
I love Natalia, but she doesn't really end any stories.
Yeah.
And when she is, it was kind of
I mean, not to be disrespectful to some of these other people, because I know women's wrestling is beyond WWE in the main, but like, who's Trish Adora at like 87 or 86? Anybody know who that is?
I know the name.
I have no idea.
I haven't gotten the magazine in the mail yet, so I mean, once I get it, I can tell you who that is.
I know who she is.
I mean, I'm only asking because we know who Mandy Rose is, and she had maybe not as much wrestling, but she was pretty prominently
featured the whole Otis storyline. Yeah, that whole thing.
I know it wasn't always wrestling, but
I mean, the lowest WWE superstar is Liv. She's 84.
Yeah, 84.
And
honestly, I think Mandy was in storylines more than her. So that's what I'm like.
Yeah,
because they took her off. She had that one storyline when with Lana and Lashley, but then that kind of fizzled out real quick too. So
yeah, so,
I'm somewhat offended that Holly Dead is 98. She should be higher, but that's just me. That's because I love Holly.
I also feel like, no offense to Nia, but I feel like Nia should be lower.
Nia should be lower because
she was injured most of the year.
And injuring people.
She was hurt a good amount.
And then
that too.
What'd she say?
And then she's injuring people.
Oh my god. Yeah, that too.
But wait, why are Ashley Vox and Naomi Exo lower on the men's 500, but yet higher than the ones who they replaced on the? Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's where like some of the math doesn't.
This is the different evaluation and things like that. You know,
the order doesn't make sense with the women. That's why I'm like, what the freak?
Yeah, but what I was saying about
French
Julia,
toast.
Yeah, seriously. What I was saying about Julia at 54 is right. Well, she's one of the people who I feel like they're kind of moving into that kind of the area that Hana Kimura had before she passed, but because they were feuding right before she passed, right before the COVID stuff happened, her and Hana were feuding a lot, and since then, because she's even leading her own stable. They just added a new member. They used to be they added 2 members recently. They used to be just a trio. Now there's 5 of them in the faction, and it's like at 54, I kind of get it, but I would put her at least in the 40s personally.
And Lacey Evans is pretty high too.
Yeah, Lacey kind of had a slow year, you know.
She did. That's why I was like,
she was high profile at the beginning. Remember?
maybe.
She
Yeah.
was that. I mean, she
Yeah.
just was that first Becky feud after Mania
Yeah.
and the fall. I
And then
wasn't
I
a
don't
big
wanna-
fan of it, but yeah.
I don't want to be, I guess, disrespectful or anything, but I know Mercedes Martinez is a big thing, but she wasn't really used that much this past year,
Not
and
not
she's
on,
higher than Candice LeRae.
yeah,
I
but
think Candice LeRae should be higher.
she still made appearances in like a bunch of indies. She made AEW appearances, WWE,
Yeah.
obviously.
I think
this
I think she
this was- I
did
think-
some overseas work too, right? Before
Yeah,
the
maybe
shut
maybe
down.
that's
you can take into
Yeah.
account just before she signed, as well.
that,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
So-
Yeah.
So
On a small side note, did y'all hear the story that she actually asked to be removed from Disruption?
yes,
I had not
What?
heard
No,
that.
I
see
did
that.
not.
So obviously, when Disruption was revealed, we saw that there were two women, Mia Yim and Mercedes Martinez,
Right.
under their yet to be revealed names. But I guess Mercedes didn't like how it was set up, and she asked to be removed from the storyline. So
And she's back in NXT apparently. Yeah.
I mean, has she even appeared? Because her status is basically
I don't think
in
she's been
limbo.
on the show yet, but that's what
Yeah.
I heard. Is
Yeah.
she was going to be back in NXT. So
Yep. So
I'm just hoping next year Ember Moon will be in the top 10.
Ember Moon should
Yeah,
be back. I mean,
she
as
should
long
have a
as
good
she
run.
stays
I mean,
healthy.
now that she's healed up and everything, you know.
I don't know about top 10, but hopefully, like 32, Chris Statlander. Hopefully, she got sidelined with that injury.
Yeah.
When she was looking to start to make a big push in AEW, so hopefully
Yeah.
she'll move up the charts.
Because
I
I think she starting to recover. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
I think. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I'm sorry. I don't know if you mentioned this or I missed it, but Kairi Sane, is she still wrestling in Japan?
Yes. Right.
that-
I think right now.
No,
well,
I
right
think so.
now she's not. Right now
So
she's
not
she's
not.
wrestling
going
at
to be going to Stardom, right? When she goes, hopefully, we think when she
Either
gets back.
going. I think I heard she was either going to Stardom or some rumor that she was going to be working with like them still trying to start a New Japan, NXT Japan or something like that. I heard.
Okay.
So I don't know which one is true. So I'm still just trying to wait to hear it.
More than likely, she'll be moving down next year's chart. If
Yeah.
she's
Most
not
likely,
wrestling.
yeah. Obviously, not being as active since she left WWE quite peacefully, considering how some other things
Yeah,
have gone.
seriously.
Right. Yeah.
Well, she does post that she's at WWE Japan offices. So I'm wondering if that's true that she's going to start
Maybe
at
they work
WWE
something
Japan.
out.
Yeah.
So, the two names on here that I think have a really good shot to move up are 30 Deonna Purrazzo and 44 Sue Young. Of course,
Yeah.
Sue Young has continued to work as the Undead Bride outside of Impact up until very, very recently when she made the surprise return and won the title from Deonna Purrazzo. And I can see these two really going back and forth over the next year over that championship and really pushing each other. So I could definitely see both of them moving up, and I'd be pretty excited about it.
I can see Shotzi Blackheart climbing the charts like a lot because of how they're starting to push her this year.
All right, let's do
I
that,
can also
guys.
I can also okay yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
I can also say that I'm probably gonna say that Tony Storm's gonna move up next year too. I feel
Now that
like
she's back?
now that she's back and
Yeah.
better. So
Go ahead, Mike.
No, we were all kind of doing it, but I was just gonna say let's all pick one person we think is gonna move up, and one person we think is gonna move down.
Ooh,
But we all kind
Ooh.
of started doing that. So
Okay, biggest one for me, Big Swole. I want to see Big Swole in the top 15 next year. 39 right now. Come on, Swole. Crohn's Warrior. Let's do it. Biggest one that will move down because her status is completely in limbo, Tessa Blanchard.
Yeah.
I think we all agree she's a bit high to begin with, but ever since dropping the title, we don't know where she's going.
obviously Becky Lynch is gonna go down.
That's the obvious one. I mean, she might even be on the list basically at this point.
Yeah.
But Tessa, if she doesn't start showing up on TV and doing something, we don't even know where she's possibly going. WWE hasn't even signed her to our knowledge.
right.
She could very easily be dropping possibly out of the top 100 if she doesn't show up anywhere.
Another one that I hope that they utilize more is Bianca Belair.
yeah,
Oh, yeah,
If
definitely.
they use her well enough, man, she'll move up quick.
See, I
I can
almost
see her-
wonder if her seating was a little high.
No,
Only because when she left NXT, she hasn't been on TV as much.
mind you,
wrestling.
again, it depends when did she leave? Because she's being used a lot in NXT, in a lot of storylines, and then she got moved. So when did she move? She moved in like May.
right after WrestleMania, I think.
So April.
So
Okay.
May. So she had the same amount of time that Becky did, about 7-8 months in
Okay.
NXT.
And she was booking kind of strong at the beginning of the period too.
She was in the Rumble.
War
And
Games.
she had a
That's
strong,
right, she was. I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
that's
So
right.
I mean, you can't. I say that she's actually in a good spot because if you're thinking of just NXT stars, then the next person I would probably have would have been Dakota Kai, and
yeah.
because she literally broke out last year,
Yeah.
being turning heel.
I know for sure because of how they've been booking her. I know that, like I said, number 54, Julia from Stardom, she's going to move up. I'm also going to say, I'm going to go ahead and make this prediction now. Her tag team partner, like in their stable, is a girl named Micah. And honestly, if she's not on the list next year, I will legitimately be shocked because they've been pushing her as like kind of the new rookie, like of Stardom. Like they've been pushing her as a real talented rookie. So because their stable is called Donna Del Mondo, Julia's the leader. They have a girl named Sayuri who's actually number 78, who's like the veteran because Sayuri's been wrestling for a long time. Micah is a rookie, and they had another girl named Himika. She's a rookie as well, and then they added just the fifth girl named Natsu Poi, who's not a rookie, and she's not a rookie in sports. She's a rookie in wrestling, but she was actually an MMA combatant before she became a wrestler, and then they signed her to Stardom. So,
I'll say this: one name that I think will drop out is Naomi, and I can let Tina address what she thinks is going on with Naomi right now, what she's discovered through social media.
No, I don't know if it's true or not. I just assume things because she hasn't been on in a really long time, and she's been putting some interesting pictures. Usually, she puts full body pictures, and she hasn't. She's been putting just like top of her face pictures and stuff. So I'm wondering if she's pregnant.
Oh.
Just a thought. I don't.
Well,
she might not be. She might just be having a break and all this stuff. But I do remember from when she was on Total Divas that her and her husband.
Which one is she with?
John.
So it's Jimmy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Jimmy Uso and she said you need to give me like 3-4 years and then we'll try to have a kid. So it's been about 5 years. So I'm like, I wonder.
And I was just thinking she wasn't even involved in any of the recent Survivor Series stuff, right? The matches together.
Tina pointed out too, like on Instagram pictures where she has seen part of the body. I mean, she's used to having abs. She thought she saw a little bit of a baby bump. So
I don't know. I could be wrong, but
yeah.
And I hope it's not. I hope I'm not wrong. I hope I'm not wrong because if I am, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it that way. Maybe it was just the clothes you're wearing. Sorry.
She's like, it's quarantine, Dad.
And I know she's been really big on just having her natural hair now, and you can see that in some of her pictures. She put them in like cornrows and stuff. So I don't know if
did she do that at the Rumble too when she had the natural hair going?
Yeah, but now it's she. I mean, I think it's more and more she's doing it. So I'm just like wondering if she's just like trying to, when you're trying to get pregnant or you're pregnant, you're trying to be more health conscious, I guess, about everything, coloring your hair, doing anything,
taking medicine,
things like that. So I don't know. Like I said, I could be wrong, but I guess my intuition is saying she hasn't been on in a long time. And she doesn't show any full body pictures anymore that I'm like, I wonder if she's pregnant.
Could be.
And if she is, that's awesome. I would love to see that. Things that make you go.
So there's her and Becky Lynch. Well, Becky Lynch we know is pregnant. Naomi rumored. At least we're starting the rumor.
No, don't start.
So,
according to
she couldn't be,
Countdown
but
City WrestleCast.
Yeah, she could not be, but
detective thing.
I don't know. I guess I have this weird feeling that she might be, but I don't know.
You never know.
If she isn't, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
Only other person I could think could drop a bit on this list is Shayna Baszler. She's kind of stuck with that tag team with Nia Jax, and it's kind of been, the women's tag titles are just kind of they're like in flux right now. Nobody.
I can see Alexa going up with this whole storyline with
Bray Wyatt.
And I know JC's like she's not in the top 10.
I don't mind it. I mean,
she was way too high this past year, but now that she's actually gotten good.
No, I'm surprised JC wasn't at the beginning saying like she's not in the top 10 and Mandy Rose is not on here. So
I'm more upset about Mandy Rose not being on this list than
Alexa Bliss. And this is the first time I want to tell you that I'm like, I'm surprised she's not on the list because she was in a lot of big storylines and Last year, I think she was on the list. That's why I was like, what?
She was
Actually-
actually on the list. higher
And
than
she didn't
Sonya.
do much last year. So I was
JC's
like,
upset
what?
that Gail Kim is not top 5. So
Very upset. Very upset. So
She's number 1 in his heart.
of
Yes.
course,
Or number 2, actually, because I'm
Wow.
number 1. I should
Yes,
be
you
number
are number one. You are number one. Gail's number 2.
Actually, your daughter should be.
he didn't say that very convincingly. I'm
You're
just,
just fucking trapping me now. All right.
trapped in the closet. Oh,
The closet. All right. Anything else you guys want to say about the list? Any surprises? Anybody you want to see next year? Anybody?
I mean, not big things, but just some shout out to some names we've seen toward the end of the list, like Solo Darling, Veda Scott, Marty Bell. Some of those that have been real consistent around the indie scene for years.
Nicole Matthews.
Nicole. Oh yeah, Nicole Matthews up there at 77.
I really miss Portia Perez. And
So
Nicole
do I.
Matthews.
I was about
Yeah.
to say that.
You
It's like,
know,
I miss
so-
Portia.
Yeah, so I hope
Great
Portia's doing
star.
well. I know she retired years ago.
I feel also, by the way, that Peyton Royce might move up if they really do push her eventually to be a singles competitor.
It's slow going with that push.
Well,
though, man.
yeah, all of a sudden she's in a
If they
tag
do,
team
if
with Lacey Evans, and it's like you're gonna put her in a tag team. Why not keep her in the tag team where she was entertaining? Because
Mike, I understood your pain when they broke up, and I got it. Like, why are you breaking up a good thing? I mean, the New Day split brands, and yet they're still a team. Why couldn't you
Yeah.
have done that with them?
Yeah.
But now, like, your point was to push her. Okay, push her. Let's see how good this push is. We're just gonna throw in another tag team.
yeah,
Well, I think they did that
What
with.
the hell?
Didn't they do
you
that
know?
with all the women? They're like, we don't know what to do with all these women. Let's put them together.
yeah.
Wasn't that like Lana and
And
Natty?
it's shitty because you
and I'm just
you
like,
did that.
what is
uh,
going on?
You used
Mandy
to do that in
and-
Divas era. Yeah.
Oh, is
So-
Mandy's partner in here? What's her name?
Dana Brooke? Oh,
Dana
wait.
Brooke.
Dana
No,
Brooke is
Dana's
not
not
in
in
here.
there.
Now, granted, she hadn't wrestled much either previous to,
No, she'd been dealing with
She'd-
some injuries, I think, as
Yeah.
well. So she hasn't been on TV. as
but
well.
so but seriously, like Billie Kay. I don't know if you saw SmackDown last week. They finally realized to still try to use her funny, so they had her in a backstage thing with the New Day and with Big E and the Street Profits, where I don't know if you saw it, but she was like, because the Street Profits are trying to get information from Big E about the New Day. And then she walks up and she's like, here's my resume and my headshots. She's like, I have some information on the Red Brand. They were like, Billy, we were on the Red Brand the same time you were. She's like, okay. It's like they started to realize, even apart, she was the comedy. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of people say, like, Peyton Royce, in all seriousness, I do think Peyton Royce has shown to kind of be a little bit of a better wrestler, but I don't think her personality comes out unless she's with Billie Kay, or at least it hasn't yet. They're such best friends in real life that all the stuff they do is so natural to them. And I think apart,
I feel
Peyton's
like
having a little hard time getting
so.
the personality.
I agree with that. I think that Peyton Royce is the better wrestler, but Billy's the charisma.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's like can't have
But
one without the other.
That's what complements such tag teams. You
Yeah.
have those two personalities. Like, you don't have to break them up and make them single stars. You can work with what you have as a tag team.
I got it.
Kofi made his WrestleMania run still a part of a stable, still a part of a tag team.
And it was
still
they were a big part of it.
Yeah.
I don't think Vince gets quite how stables can keep things going and still work.
Mhm.
I think he's always been so dead set on if a guy gets a singles run, he has to be by himself, which to me is bull, because really look at, and I know this is kind of cliche to say it. Well, it's cliche to say both these things, but look at NWO and Four Horsemen. They were clearly built around two guys, Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan, for their time. It worked.
Mm.
But it worked with Kofi because you still have the New Day. And that's why I said you could have still had the Iconics, you could have still pushed Peyton as a single star, but had Billie Kay at her side the whole time. It would have made tons of sense.
Even if they were determined to keep that stupid, like, out of nowhere stipulation, if the Iconics lose, they have to break up, which came out of nowhere. But it would have been funny to like, okay, we can't tag team, but they're gonna be each other's managers, like you said, and find ways to not be a tag team but still support each other. I think that would have been at least interesting and something.
Since all pay-per-views are co-branded, they'll just be supporting each other one way or another. That sort of thing.
Like you do with Big E when he's on the screen.
Right.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe Survivor Series, they'll try and tease something. Maybe if there's enough fan backlash, they'll just put them back together. It's like,
it'd be funny in Survivor Series if they're like right against each other and they're like, oh no. I can't wrestle you. I'm a friend.
Yeah. So
they should, because I still have the image of them in the Elimination Chamber match when they were both screaming when Nia Jax and Tamina cornered them. It's the best movie never. It was the best Scream Queen scene never in a horror.
Now, before we fully wrap this up, I do need to ask Tommy about his ex-wife from another multiverse, Jessica Havoc at number 33. Your thoughts on that?
It's not fair. My ex-wife from another universe should be higher. Because I still support her whether we're divorced or not.
In all fairness, I think in that other universe she is top 10 actually. After y'all separated,
because
she really put herself
Tommy.
back into exactly. She really put herself
got
back
hired
into
because
training.
she divorced
you were holding her down, Tommy. You're the reason you were holding her back, and now she's best wrestler in the world, possibly. So blame your ass. All right.
Wow. That turned.
I think
really
that's
quickly.
a good moment to wrap this up. So thank you everyone for your open discussion. Tina, thank you for joining us. I know this is a big reason why you want to be a part of this, and I'm glad you still showing up for that. So, but
you just kicked you off now. We're not done.
No, I'm not done yet. But
I was gonna say, depending on when this is aired, we're gonna have Ms. and Mrs. and Mike's favorite, the Bella Twins.
What?
Yeah. Anyway,
or was it
the audio went out?
Total Bella.
Feel free to comment below and share us your thoughts on the Women's 100. What your thoughts are? Who you think was missing? Who should be higher? Who should be lower? What are you looking forward to next year? And where do you think this will fluctuate?
I'm missing from the list.
He was missing.
Just kidding.
Even then, your thoughts about the different criteria for both the men's and the women's lists, which you kind of wonder why that's being done. All right, so one bit of wrestling news I wanted to share. There's been a bit of news that came out this past week that Jazz and Thunder Rosa are going to be opening a wrestling school for women.
Woo woo!
Very excited.
I am not going to go. I'm too old.
I think a lot
Even though I think Nyla Rose is the same age as me.
Yeah,
no, thank you.
I think a lot of
Asuka's older than me. I don't even know.
Baszler's older than you. She's like our age, me and JC.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I have a bad back, so no.
I actually think this is welcome news. I had the interview with Angel Blue a few weeks ago, and she talked a lot about in training how Lance Hoyt and Wally Darkman really kept her back because they wanted to look out for the creeps in wrestling, like look out for those that being treated differently because you're a woman, and they wanted to protect her. And I think they did a very good job of that, but. With the whole Me Too movement, of course, that really blooming over into wrestling this year. A lot of women, I think, having a training school where it's just exclusively women, I think is going to do well. And they'll be able to learn and relate better to them about how to protect yourself. Things that when you go to a school with men usually don't really have to worry about that sort of thing, usually. So I think that's a really good thing. I'm actually hoping it's very successful. Are they running it out of San Antonio or around Buda?
They're still, because Jazz and Ronnie Mac. I actually got to talk to her a little bit about it. Saturday, I went to SWE Fury. So I saw her there and I talked about it, and she's still doing the dog pound with her and Ronnie Mac, but she's gonna have that along with her and Thunder Rosa. So there's because they still live in San Antonio.
Are they doing that with heavy metal wrestling? Right.
I don't know that. I'm not. I can't. I don't know.
I think
about
it's
that.
an associate. Like
it might.
They help out with it.
Yeah, Dylan, because Dylan works with a lot of people, so it might be. But I know they're going to be working together on that. So they're still going to have the dog pound, with them, and then they're still going to. I don't know if this school is going to be in a separate building or whatever, but I just know that that's their project. That's what they're going to do. And honestly, I can't think of two people I'd want to learn more from. Even as a guy, I think I'd rather learn from Jazz.
As a woman, if I was younger and I had a better back, then maybe I would. But no. Not gonna happen. But I mean, if I was a woman, if I knew somebody that wanted to train that was a female, I would be like, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. There's always somebody out there that look into it. So
Yeah, but you're right, Tommy. Even as a man, I would be like, yeah.
I'm like saying. So only women can go to the school with you two teaching? Is it just women?
For real?
Can I swear I will change outside in my car? I literally won't care.
best of luck to them. I hope it goes really well. I'm actually very excited to hear that news too.
Yeah.
So, and then with that, we'll get into our 1 minute warning. Mike, do you have anything for us this week?
I don't think I do. I kind of just feel like not much is going on other than please end Orton and McIntyre.
Oh dear God, that's still happening.
That's it. Okay. That's my 1 minute. End that feud, please.
Okay. Cool.
5-second warning.
I'll try and slow that down so it drags on. No, I'm just kidding. Right. Tommy, what do you got for us this week?
New Japan, dude, had a huge show this past weekend, and it had some major implications because they announced some matches for Wrestle Kingdom.
All right, cool. Then,
all right, good 10-second warning. I liked it.
No, just kidding. I'll let you go into more detail about it. I think there's one that was a real big one announced. So I'll let you go in here. 3, 2, 1, and go.
Okay, so for starters, Shingo Takagi won back the never openweight title from Minoru Suzuki, which is cool. But in a huge twist, Jay White actually defeated Kota Ibushi for the right to challenge certificate at Wrestle Kingdom. So for a second, it looked like Ibushi was out of the main event of Wrestle Kingdom altogether. But New Japan announced, because Naito retained both titles against Evil, he said he still wants to face Ibushi because Ibushi beat him in the G1. So he said it's only fair. So Wrestle Kingdom so New Japan took that into consideration, and they announced night 1, Ibushi will get his title shot against Naito, and whoever wins that match will face Jay White in night 2 in both main events. And also, we will be getting Okada versus Will Ospreay, but we're getting it at Wrestle Kingdom because Okada did defeat the Great Okan, and Ospreay said, "You want your match? You'll get it at Wrestle Kingdom," which we all literally knew was going to happen, but they made it official. So real quick, but when both Jay White and Ospreay were cutting promos at Power Struggle, both Okada and Naito respectively both went, "Yeah, I have no idea what they just said, but all I understood was Wrestle Kingdom, and I'm cool with that."
I will say one thing. The whole time Tommy was talking, I was excited to the fact that I knew most of those names.
Well, so proud of you.
Thank you. There are some names that I was like, what? And then the last one, I was like, yes, I know who those people are.
Yeah. All right, Tina, do you have something this week you want to share? No.
Good. Just Total Bellas and Visit Mrs.
You keep breaking Mike's audio. Stop that.
Total Bella.
You guys there?
Oh Lord.
I'm sorry.
Okay. In all fairness, if you said pictures of Nikki Bella, okay.
Before or after her the baby? She's like either one.
Look, they're Hispanic. I'll give them their due. So.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true. They're half Mexican.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
You all right, Tommy?
Tommy, you good?
But I'm excited. I think I'm more excited about Ms. and Mrs., to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if she was here for this. Ms. and Mrs. needs to be the official reality family of USA and get rid of those dang Chrisleys. Yes.
I told JC that we need you know how we have that reality podcast? I told him we should totally just do one episode on just Ms. and Mrs. and have our friends Ryan and Angela watch it just to see what their reaction is, because they're not wrestling fans. I just want to see if they think oh my God, they're hilarious.
Yeah, that might be something. They're currently in Disney World, or Brian and Angela are in Disney World right now, enjoying the rain in the middle of Disney and masks and everything. But
it happens.
Having a good time.
So it's funny because Ms. and Mrs. I think would be a just fine show by itself, but I think it's funnier because you see their wrestling personalities, and that makes it hilarious. So.
Yeah, definitely. And then raising kids with those personalities. So.
Apparently, you're going to see a lot more of this season. You'll see Alexa Bliss and
Ryan
Cabrera, her boyfriend, and we always see Ziggler there because they're really good friends.
I think one of my personal favorite episodes was, obviously, it was the year after the Browns went 0-16, and Miz ordered one of those Bud Light beer fridges that was only going to unlock when the Browns won a game, and it was the Thursday night game, the first time they won after drafting Baker Mayfield. And Cabrera was there, Ziggler was there, Miz was obviously there, and they went to the fridge as soon as the game was over. The lock fell off like it was supposed to, and they got drunk and hammered the whole night. Woke up hungover, and Miz had to take his daughter to a baby social class.
Baby music class.
Baby music class. It was like 3 drunk men and a baby, 3 hungover men and a baby.
And they were all like
taking the kid over.
hitting like drums and stuff, and they're just like, oh.
Yeah, so.
And Ziggler was drinking like a Bloody Mary in the morning, and they're like, dude, what are you doing? He goes, little hair of the dog, man. And he was fine. Ziggler was fine, but
yeah,
Ryan
that dude's
and him were just
metabolism.
like,
I could imagine.
I think one of them passed out like in the pool or something like that.
Miz and Ziggler, they have like these floatable beds.
They fell asleep on the floatable thing in the pool.
But Ryan fell
asleep.
But Ryan Cabrera fell asleep in one of the kids' beds.
Yeah.
Like they had an exterior guest room, and they.
He's small enough to fit in one of the beds.
He's small enough to fit.
Where was that dude from, Cabrera?
He's a singer.
He's from Texas.
Yeah, he's
originally.
But he's a singer.
He's a singer.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I would sing the song, but then you probably wouldn't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He was popular in the late '90s. He had one album.
Sounded familiar, but I couldn't. Okay.
He dated Ashley Simpson.
Maybe that's where I heard it from.
Before she got into that little the howdy thing happened.
Yeah.
When she had her TV show. I don't know if you ever saw Ashley Simpson had a TV show.
I kind of remember. I kind of remember.
That was her boyfriend.
Maybe that's what it was. Okay.
Long way away, right?
Yeah.
Real quickly for my 1 minute warning. I know over the past week it's been crazy in our country with the whole election results and I wouldn't call it controversial and everything like that. I know, Mike. Yeah, you're having that press conference there.
Are you still waiting there, Mike, for the press conference to start?
Yes.
What has bothered me is the fact that I've had to see wrestlers, people of color who are wrestlers, like Mustafa Ali, say what you want if he's a heel, insult his character, whatever you want to do. Don't bring race into it. This isn't the thing. Can we just please move forward from this? Whatever your politics are, keep race, religion, LGBTQ, sexual preference, whatever it is, just keep it out of it, and let's just be civil, and let's just be better people. Tina mentioned that we have an Island of Reality podcast if you want to listen. And we had some guests on the show from the UK, and they, had some questions about how it was over here. They were intrigued by it, and it's difficult to tell them sometimes how bad it is on race relations. Obviously, that didn't really come up in the conversation, but it's something that I'm ashamed if I have to tell people from another country that's how it is over here. But we're better people than that. Regardless of who you voted for, can we please just move forward and just move on? Let's just be better about who we are.
And I will say that they asked us how. They were asking us how is everything going over there as far as like everything that after everything happened, and I go, it really depends on which American you ask.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
My God.
So I mean, we could tell you all these things about our views, but if you ask other Americans, it could be completely different. So
yeah. So anyway, as for us, our Twitter account, of course, is at @CCG_WrestleCast, and you can subscribe here at the Countdown City Geeks YouTube channel. Next week, we will be previewing WWE Survivor Series, which is going to be taking place the weekend before Thanksgiving. So,
I might be able to do that.
Yeah. So, it is the typical Raw versus SmackDown. NXT is not involved this year, unfortunately, because they probably wiped the floor with them.
Yeah, seriously.
But yeah. So, we'll be talking all about that.
I thought about this. What if Midway? They probably didn't do it this year because midway through half the matches, everyone who used to be in NXT would have just stopped and been like, "Have you guys seen him again? It sucks up here."
That's a good point.
That'd be pretty cool to see. Just a breakaway, right? So we'll be talking about that. We'll see how much disruption gets involved in that event. And
You've never called them that.
If you have any comments again about the PWI Women's 100, let us know. Comment here. Tweet them at us. If there's any good questions you might have that pop up, we'll definitely discuss them on the next episode. So, thank you again, everybody, for watching. Thank you again, everybody, for subscribing.
Forgive me for
You look great, baby.
my
Beautiful.
frizzy hair.
Yeah, you look amazing.
I look tired.
Yep.
Mike, you need a little powder. It's a little shiny.
Why do you think I'm wearing a bandana? You will not see how bad this hair is right now.
Okay. With that, we will sign off here, and we'll see everybody next week. Over here, we got Tommy.
Thanks, guys.
From the Four Seasons, we got Mike.
Thanks, guys. Be good to each other.
My beautiful wife, Tina.
Who's just across the table from him. Like, literally, he's right there.
Kayfabe.
And I'm
We're not wrestlers.
And I'm Jason. And I'm JC.
In my
Adios,
head.
guys. Stay safe.
And I'm JC. And as always, heels and baby faces, remember, pro wrestling is real. People are fake.
Fake.
You don't want to know where this water bottle's been?
Hey yo, subscribe to the channel by clicking right here.
Or if you want to watch more videos, click right here.